رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ومن يطع الله ورسوله فأولئك مع الذين أنعم الله عليهم من النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحين وحسن أولئك رفيقا. صدق الله العظيم. As the Quran mentions that there are 3 degrees and levels of knowledge: the strength, the yaqeen, the faith. The more a person will have stronger faith, the more easier it becomes to act upon that faith. And the weaker the faith is, and the person will struggle more to act upon it. The weakest amongst those 3 levels of faith is that a person have a knowledge of something, he knows about something, and he is sure about it. He has yaqeen on it, he has faith on it, and he believes it to be true. This is also a level of degree of faith, degree of yaqeen which he has. The second degree and level is that when whatever you believe in, whatever knowledge you have, you also have seen it with your eyes, you have seen it with your eyes, and you now even have higher level and degree of faith regarding that matter. And the higher level, the third degree, the third level of knowledge is that when you have experienced, you had a direct experience about that matter, you have direct interaction with that, what you are seeing, then this is even highest level. So let's say, for example, this is a cup and someone says that we have some tea upstairs, we are going to prepare some, we have prepared some tea, and I have heard that someone has said this and to me, and I believe that they are true. They don't need to lie, they are not lying. So this is what the first level of knowledge and degree of knowledge is, that I will simply believe on it. But still it is not the highest level. The second level would be that when they bring that cup and the tea is in front of me, I can see it. So obviously I did not belie them or did not think they are lying. I believe on them. But when something has come in front of me, which I can see, my level of knowledge have gone higher now. I have knowledge about the eyes. Firstly, I only had knowledge through ears. Firstly, I only had knowledge through ears. Now I can see the color or the thing is in front of me. Now the heart has become more satisfied. And I know that if I want to drink, I can. The third level of and a degree of knowledge is when I will drink this tea. When I will drink, this means that the tea is interacting with me and I have tasted it, it's hot or cold or delicious or whatever. And it's gone into my stomach and I've started benefiting. My throat has become moist with it. This is even higher level. So the first level is knowledge about is that someone said there is tea. Second is that when someone has brought in front of me, I can see with my own eyes, it's there. And the third is when I am drinking, I have drunk that tea, then it is actually much higher level. Now I have fully satisfied that that person, what he said obviously is true, but I've seen it, I have drank it, and now, alhamdulillah, I'm enjoying. So these are the 3 degrees of faith, 3 degrees of yaqeen, 3 degrees of knowledge. Now about the dunya, about the world which we are living in, we have these 3 levels of knowledge about it. We hear from other people, there are cars, there are such and such beauties, there are such and such houses. Sometimes we've not seen them, but then we see them as well through photos, through diagrams, or by visiting them. So regarding the attractions of the dunya, attractions of this world, we have these 3 degrees of knowledge already. Because we hear from people about dunya. Secondly, we, with our own eyes, we are seeing day and night the beautiful trees, or the scenery, or the women, or the men, and the cars, and the houses, whatever. Obviously, dunya you are seeing, so you have a very high degree of level of yaqeen regarding that you are. And thirdly, we are using that dunya day and night. We are drinking, we are eating, we are living, we are experiencing, eating, as I said, drinking, marrying, living in the houses, driving cars. All these matters also give us a direct experience. So we have a very high level of faith regarding that. Now I want to ask you that what level of faith we have regarding deen and akhirah amongst these 3. What do you think? Which of these 3? I mentioned firstly, if you can mention these, which are the 3 degrees of knowledge? Right, you hear and you believe. One is you hear but don't believe, so that's not, but we're saying that you are hearing and you believe that it is true. The second one, the second degree, which is higher degree. Can you mention with the Siraj what? No, no, you just explained how I explained. No, no. What are the three levels of knowledge? 3 degrees of knowledge. One is the, right. Okay. So as the brother is saying, so you see, it is very important that you understand as well. As they say, there are 5 other levels of knowledge as well, which is in firstly the hearing, then is understanding, then applying. That is different, but actually this is very weakest form knowledge that you hear only, and you don't understand or you don't apply, and etc. etc. So okay, now as the brother has said, okay, that firstly is hearing that someone is telling the truth. So you hear the truth, you believe on it. Second is seeing the truth, he's saying. And the third is experiencing. Like, for example, I gave you simple example as actually the tea, or someone tells you about a fruit or orange or whatever that they have. So my question is that in relation to dunya, which level we have of faith? Yes, brother, yourself. नहीं, वो जो पीछे बैठे हुए. In relation to this world, which level of these 3 we have, which I mentioned? You understand the levels which I mentioned? That firstly, let's say you are hearing about tea. Someone say there is tea upstairs in the kitchen. Second is someone brings in front of you, you can seeing the tea, and then experiencing by drinking it. So I am saying that in relation to the world which we live in, which levels of amongst these 3 we have? First one, second one, third one, none of them, all of them, one. Brother Naveed, what do you think?
The third one, the highest experience, I believe it's the experience that over time, dunya, I believe.
Right. So how do you say this? How can you explain to the brother next to you in that is the highest level?
It's the highest level because I see it with my eyes, I hear about it with my ears, and I experience it on a daily experience and touch it, and I have a direct experience with it all the time in life.
Okay. Okay, the brother is saying that we, in relation to this dunya, firstly, you have 3 levels of yaqeen. But in relation to dunya, you have these 3, all of them, because you hear it, you see, for example, cars, women, houses, trees, this earth, the food. You see it and then you eat it, you drink it, you talk with people, you see the money, you use the money. So you have a very, very highest level of actually, high level of actually faith, as you may say, or knowledge regarding the dunya. Now the actual question which I was asking, that in relation to the Samir, in relation to Akhirah, what level do we have? Level 1. What do you think, Brother Shafiq? Level 1. Well, yes, the brothers are saying in relation to Akhirah meaning the things, life after death, and for example, the spirits living and the angels and the heavens, etc., etc. We have actually the lowest. We know it because actually Anbiya alayhim salam and the Quran, we've not even heard the Anbiya alayhim salam, we've not actually met them. We heard through other people that what they said or recitation of Quran, that these are such and such things. But it is the first level, only knowledge, only we have heard. Let's say regarding the women, for example, I give you an example. In this dunya, you hear about women that they are women, and there are two genders. Okay, that's all common knowledge. Second is you see women, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created pairs, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want people to marry, to do nikah, etc., etc. Then you do nikah. For example, firstly, you only heard about that you have a bride to be, or you are engaged with someone, but you never seen them. Then you see them, then actually you marry. So, but regarding akhirah, for example, regarding the akhirah, about who will be the women of akhirah and Jannah, as you know, you have only heard about them. You have only heard about them, that they are such and such, and they are women in paradise, and you know you have seen the paradise, and you believe and you have conviction that it is true, 100%, you have no doubt at all. Even 1% you don't have doubt. But it's still actually knowledge only, hearing only. You've not seen them living there. You've not seen their beauty. And thirdly, you've not actually talked with them, you've not sat with them, you've not experienced them, meaning actually that is also down there. So similarly, regarding the players of food and living houses, here you know, you live in them, you've seen, you drink, you actually eat the food, and but regarding akhirah, you've not seen the palaces, you've not seen that food, you've not eaten that food. Conclusion is that your level of faith and yaqeen regarding akhirah is lower level than actually the level of dunya, because you are experiencing it, you really believe in it. Because people are experiencing, even kuffar, everyone believes in dunya they're living. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions a small story, an incident in the life of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. That Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam once said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rabbi arini kayfa tuhyil mawta. Oh my Lord, I want to see how the dead people will become alive. Or how do you resurrect, how do you make the dead alive? I want to see how the dead will become alive. Now this is fundamental Islamic beliefs, hayat ba'da mamat, life after death. Now what do you think? That Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam did not know that the dead are going to become alive? Or he had any doubt in that belief? What do you think, brother? They believed. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to them, Awalam tu'min, do you not have iman, belief on it, that the dead are going to become alive? This is mentioned in the third juz, third para of Quran, right in the beginning. He said, Qala Bala, definitely, surely, I believe. Meaning he had yaqeen, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, so he had yaqeen on it. He had iman, he was a nabi, he was a prophet, he was a messenger, very high level messenger, alayhi salam. He said, وَلَكِنْ لِيَطْمَئِنَّ قَلْبِي. It is just actually for the satisfaction of my heart I asked this question. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then the story goes on that Allah Azza wa Jal said that actually bring up 4 birds, and then actually the story goes like actually then slaughter them, mince them, scatter their meat around the mountains, on different mountains. ثُمَّ ادْعُهُنَّ, and then call them. Each of them, the meat is mixed. Let's say one is a hen, the other is like a sparrow, for example, and the other is another bird, for example. The 4 different ones, the mixed meat, and meat is mixed, and small amounts of meat is put on different mountains. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَصُرْهُنَا ثُمَّ ادْعُهُنَّ, then call them, يَأْتِينَكَ صَاعِيًا, and they will come running towards you. وَعْلَمْ أَنَّ اللَّهَ عَزِيزٌ حَكِيمٌ. So that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. But my question to you is, what level of faith he was asking? What was he asking when he already believed? What was he saying that I want to satisfy my heart? You better believe that. He's asking higher level of, no, which level he's asking? No. When he said, Rabbi Arini, I want to see, the second level, because the third level will be when he himself becomes alive, when he experiences the resurrection, the life after death. That will be what he is experiencing now. But now he asked, Rabbi Arini. Arini means, I want to see, I want to look. So he was asking that I want to see. Why he want to see? He said, Yatma'inna qalbi, so that my heart finds more satisfaction. And when the heart finds more satisfaction, then you can sacrifice more as well. This happened before. And after that, you know how much he sacrificed for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was ready to slaughter his son Ismail. He knew, he'd seen what happened with the birds and what happened. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not difficult. And that happened as well. That he as though slaughtered him, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not let him die. He then made many other sacrifices because he had now very, very strong faith. Because he's seen a big matter with his own eyes. I want a higher level, I want to see things, to satisfy, to have itminan of the heart. Then normal people who are not prophets and who are, they even need more of that, so that only after they have a very strong faith, then they will be able to make sacrifices, they will be able to actually do things which are looking, otherwise it looks impossible for them. Because now they have yaqeen of high level, meaning they have seen with their eyes this happen. It's like the human beings, they place the seed in the ground. Let's say a grain of wheat, a small grain of wheat in the ground. Apparently it seems that you are putting something in dust, it's going to finish, it's destroyed. It's finished, it's lost, total loss. You had 2 or 4 sacks of wheat and you don't have much to eat. and you put that in ground, in dust. You made it dust. But because actually human being, they see every year that that seed comes up with more 70 such seeds or 100 more seeds. It's easy, everyone is putting seed into the dust. Although it seems that you are putting in clay, in dust on the earth, it is destruction. यानी ऐसे लगता है कि आपने तो बीज जो ज़रूरत थी गंदम की उसको ज़ाया कर दिया, मट्टी में मिला दिया. लेकिन क्यों मट्टी में मिला देता है किसान पूरी दुनिया में? कि उनको यकीन है कि ये फिर उगेगा. क्यों? उन्होंने दूसरों से सुना हुआ है और देखा हुआ है, तो वो मट्टी में मिलाना भी आसान है. Sacrificing that part to get more is easy. Everyone is doing it. हर मुल्क में, every in country, people are plowing, sowing the seed. They're throwing it in the dust first, and they do it happily so that we'll get. They want good quality of seed to throw in, not mediocre, because they think if it's a good quality, it's going to grow good quality. But same thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that sow a seed in the form of spending wealth in my way, and I will grow. He gave the same example in the Quran about the grain seed, wheat seed, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the spending in my way is same. But you see how difficult the human being find. They have to be encouraged, they have to, and they still do little bit, they fear maybe, what happened. Although, as far as their ears are concerned, they know it's going to happen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give us more. But they don't have that kind of yaqeen, that kind of faith really, which we have regarding dunya. So people have to be encouraged. But regarding the world, when they want to sow the seed, they place them, they sow the seeds very happily, and they want good quality seed so that good quality result come. But in relation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, many of us, if we give low quality, because we do not have that matter of yaqeen that if we give good quality, the more good quality is going to come. Now the level is weaker. That is why people have difficulty. Those people who had high level, they found it easy to actually spend in the way of Allah because they think they are. The earth maybe doesn't grow your seed. You've thrown something, you've given something to the earth. Earth is a creation of Allah. It might be diseased, some famine might come or some other thing. It might not give you the seed back. Some other disease, like a plant disease, will occur. But if you give something to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's 100% safe. More than the earth. The earth can still consume it, or some other things can take it from it. And other animals, other things actually can take from it. But once you are thrown at, for example, you're given it to Allah Azza wa Jal, they are even more safer. But we do not actually do that because the faith is weaker. We've not experienced that. We don't see that. And those people who do, they sometimes do experience that they get increase and they get more encouragement. So now what you have understood is that the three levels of faith, three levels of knowledge. Just one is just hearing and knowing. Second is looking and knowing. And actually third is experiencing. Now regarding dunya, you all have said we have the three levels. And regarding akhirah, we have only one level. So dunya is going to win. Our knowledge about dunya is strong, so we have more pull, more attraction, we are more captivated by the dunya. because we are attracted towards, because we can see things, we can experience things, we hear things, alcohol, drugs, people hear, they experience, they are inclined towards, whilst they are told that there's more pleasure in Jannah than actually any pleasure in dunya, but because they only heard it, they don't actually do it. But they believe like Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. So what I'm saying that to you is that if Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam says that I want more yaqeen, I want more faith, I want to satisfy my heart even more, then we people who already have very weakest faith, we need more. Once you have these three levels regarding akhirah as well, then you will really be able to consider this dunya as insignificant. Then you will be able to consider dunya insignificant. Then you will find it easier to follow. Still you have to, the choice is yours, but actually now you have a good comparison. You have a level of faith as well. Now to have this knowledge, you already, the weakest level or the lower level, you already have that. When you are born Muslim, when you hear from your parents, when you hear from scholars, there is akhirah, there is Jannah, there is malaika, there is life after death. You already have that. How can you attain the other two? Once you attain, your problem is solved for a matter. The other two are attained not through knowledge. Knowledge is you're learning, you're becoming a scholar. You still have hearing and reading knowledge. You don't have a seeable knowledge. You can't see things. That is why actually the awliya and the scholars, they say that one needs tazkiya. Tazkiya and the science of Tazkiya and the science of tasawwuf, actually, what it gives you, it doesn't give you anything more. You already have, they're more in books, in the fiqh and things, and knowledge, everything is there. But it is all heard, and read knowledge. And if you come towards studying spirituality, studying Tazkiya, and you're still doing at the level of knowledge, yeah, I've read 10 books about the tasawwuf, I've read, you still have that knowledge, hearsay. You've not actually seen, experienced or direct interaction, or you've not actually witnessed anything. So that's speciality of the science of Tazkiya and tasawwuf and ihsan, that in that your knowledge is taken to that level that's as though you are witnessing. And when you reach that level, things will change, things become very, very easy for you. It's like the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that highest level, one of the highest level of faith, he mentioned Islam, Iman. He said, Ihsan is an ta'budallaha ka'annaka tara. That worship Allah as though you are seeing Him. So the level comes so high that, but how does it have? You have to purify. Firstly, you get rid of, let's say, this is a glass which you want to, for example, a plate which you want to change into mirror. So firstly, you have to purify it. A mirror is also a stone. Mirror is also a kind of stone found in the earth, but like this plate. But it is worked on so much so the dirt, everything is removed. Firstly, the impurities are removed, and the stone becomes so clear one day that either you can see yourself or you can see through it others as well. So similar is the state of the one's body, mind, heart, that firstly you are purified. You said don't do sin of the body, for example. Don't do sins of the tongue, ears, eye, because they are contaminating your vision. Because where they are affecting is not outside, they are affecting the heart. they are blackening the heart. They are not doing anything else. They are just blackening the heart. The eye is finding pleasure, but it's blackening the heart. So you are asked not to blacken that anymore. Stop blackening it. And the mind start actually entering darkness, and in the heart also remove. And then the enlightenment, purification, further enlightenment, enhancement start, until in, like Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani say, that in the mirror of your heart you begin to see the reflections of akhirah. It's like the state of ihsan, then malaika, then akhirah, then these things, as though your level of faith is increased so much, as though you are seeing them. And some awliya Allah, they even experience them. They experience that as well, direct, they talk with them. So imagine that they go from heard knowledge to the seeable knowledge, and even they experience. So for them, it becomes very, very easy to stay steadfast upon Sharia, to stay steadfast upon Sunnah, to stay steadfast upon Deen, to leave sin, because they have a comparison of, let's say this is a phone, a Samsung phone or iPhone, Apple for example, latest model. This was the first model 10 years ago. When you had the first model, that was the new, you thought, oh, this is a wonderful phone, and you are showing everyone, look, my phone. But now you feel embarrassed to show someone, but you are the same person showing off that thing. Why? Because actually the other one has become better. So once you have the latest model and the first model, now it's easier for you to look down upon the other one. Oh, this is nothing. This is, you feel embarrassed. Now it is. But if you don't have that, you only have that lower model, then you will be actually clinging to it in the heart. This is my wonderful phone. You'll be showing people, here, look, this what it has. Because you only have that. Dunya and akhirah are like that. Dunya is primitive, you may say a lower level, very, very lower level. There are examples of akhirah in here, but a very, very low. That's why it's known dunya. Akhirah means other. In Arabic, akhirah means the other, meaning it is the other level. It is the other model. The lower model, dunya means adna, lower. Dunya is from adna, dana. It is lower model. Akhirah is the other model. Akhirah means, literally it means the other one. So this one and the other one, they have some similarity in that they are women in dunya, they are women in akhirah, the houses in dunya, the houses in akhirah, there's food in dunya. But the model is very, very low. So once you have the lowest model only, for example, this is the model latest, I say this is very good and I like, etc., etc. But after 5 years, maybe this is looked as redundant. Then it will be easy for me, okay, what someone says, can I have it? Okay, yes, why not have it? But to give what is precious to you and what you think is very, very high of the latest, oh, you say, no, I can't give that, this is for me. Same thing happens if you don't witness akhirah and you're only witnessing women of dunya, pleasures of dunya, it's very precious to you, the love. You say, oh, no, this is what it is, and this is what I have, this is what should I have, and I'm enjoying and things. But once you see the latest model, the highest ever model, imagine this is a phone which is, for example, 2015. This is the phone of 2000. Now, if a phone was to made in, let's say, 5015, imagine if you had that phone, which with no forward, nothing, no more models can come after that. What is that compared to the phone of now? So Akhirah is that model after which there is no model. Jannah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made once actually. It doesn't go through evolutionary process. It has levels, but it's the model which have no models after. It is end of all ends, meaning from the blessings point of view. But obviously, in reality, end of all ends is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His pleasure, and that's where everything stops. And His end of all end is His pleasure and His marifah. But regarding blessings and dunya and eating, Jannah is end of all ends. It actually is nothing more as such actually. Then there are this marifah of Allah, seeing Allah, obviously, that is separate thing. So once you have these two phones, it's so easy. It's like a tissue paper. You can see, you will not fight over with someone that you hear someone, a thief has ran away, you're running behind him after tissue. No. Similarly, you have a very old model phone which is worth £1. Someone takes you, oh, let him go, etc. I'm not bothered to run behind him, fight him. But yes, anything which you consider is high level, then you have people have insurance and all these type of things. So similarly, you can reach that level where akhirah you are witnessing level of faith, the level of ihsan which the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, which the tasawwuf helps you to achieve. Then the dunya become like tissue really. You don't fight over people. If someone, you have not significant. You do use it, it is used still. Tissue is not used less, you use it actually to clean, etc. It has its own use. If you have more good, you can actually give to other people. But you won't give it such significance that you and your wife are being parted because of that. They're fighting over tissue or fighting over a 2000 model phone, for example, anything like this. No. So that is why in this sight of awliya Allah, the good believers, it becomes easier. They forgive people. They don't actually get into disputes about worldly matters, about honor in this dunya, about actually money of this dunya, the property of this dunya, the beauty of this dunya. They're not concerned about that. Now, fortunately for Sahaba Ikram, Rizwan Ajmain, they had one privilege that Rasulullah ﷺ himself was the greatest sign of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in front of them. So they had the highest level whichever anyone could imagine. Because not an angel, not Jannah, but the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was his greatest sign of Akhirah himself. He's the greatest. So they had in front of them, so their iman just zoomed up actually very, very, to that very, very high level. So for them, they were not fighting over women. We are leaving women, for example, fighting with brothers, others for girls and drugs and things. And these were people that when the Sahaba Ikram migrated from Makkah to Medina, when Rasulullah said, let them share some of your wealth and things, they are your brothers, they would even, the one who had 2 wives would say to his brother companion that any one of you like, I will divorce and you can, because the Prophet said that, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that share your wealth and everything. So imagine, at one stage when you think of women, money, everything, you are even displeasing Allah and His Messenger. And on the other hand, once you understand that they are insignificant, they are only a test part, they are not your real matter, then it becomes easier. But how can you attain that all? That's what I'm trying to explain to you, that you've been with me years and years, but the purification of the body, mind, heart, and the soul, nafs, yani 4 things, Tazkiya hai, Azad Tazkiya hai, Zehn Tazkiya hai, Qalb Tazkiya nafs, ये तो सारा इसलिए था कि सिर्फ साफ हो जाए, and you can then reach the enlightenment stage so that you can observe as though akhirah, malaika, everything, and then so that you find it easy and to sacrifice and to actually submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to act upon sunnah. You don't have to drag yourself every day, oh no, I'm again getting in the kaba'ir, again have become lazy in prayers, oh I can't control my eyes. This is because you're only seeing these things. So obviously then actually you will have some difficulty. You will have a greater mujahada to do. And then there are people amongst you, previously in the Shadliya Mashayikh, Awliya Allah from all, since the companion, that they even surpass that level. They even don't want to see angels. Angels come, they say, no, we want something, we only yearn for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even then there are higher levels. Even a high level. They don't want to pay attention to prayer, even that they go to that level. So this is Tazkiya. So don't waste your time on the body only, on the tongue only, private parts only. These are not the end of ends. These are actually just the prerequisites, the purification. They are like wudu. Wudu is not the salah. The ibadah is the salah actually. The 7 organs you purify in wudu, just for wudu, meaning purification, so that you can stand in salah. So don't spend years and years on the tongue sheet, eye sheet here. Get over and done with that and try to reach, meaning this other, actually. And then, alhamdulillah, who is going to be at ease? You. Not anyone else. You are going to enjoy high level of faith, and you will have ease in doing mujahada, in actually following, and you will truly have a connection with Allah. I will just read to you one of these people who actually read. They said once, it's not from just few days back maybe actually, that who are experiencing this type of thing, just to motivate you. He said that I was sitting in my dhikr and I wanted to be with him without the world and people. बंदा फरमा रहे हैं कि मैं अल्लाह के ज़िक्र में, लेकिन मैं this love of Allah, yearning of Allah grows more. I want to be with him without world. I don't want without world, without people. To be with him without separation and distraction. And they're saying my spirit, the ruh, didn't even want to go to the mashayikh. Our level is that we reach the mashayikh, awliya, first at least their spirituality, and then they take us further, things, etc., etc. Good. But obviously, feeling you don't have control over. This person is saying that my ruh was yearning to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I didn't even want. He could go to mashayikh awliya, but he didn't want. The ruh doesn't want. It wants to go much higher, meaning to be with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Allah is the end of ends. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the purpose of all. But he says, because I had instruction, but I forced it to go to them. I found the Shaykh, Sayyidina Abdul Aziz Dabbagh, my Shaykh, in their blessed mazar. After giving 3 times salam, they appeared and could see the yearning within me. So they could see that what this person wants. I was amazed at how close he reached to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that he would learn 50 to 100,000 new names of Allah Azza wa Jal with every blink. I mean, that's also mentioned in the book, but this is now through their experience. Now he said, I was also amazed at his closeness to Allah. I want to be with Allah, but how he was close, that every blink of an eye, 50 to 100,000 names of Allah Azza wa Jal, he will get marifah of those names and see those names. So he asked, how did you attain this level of closeness? How did you attain, Ya Sayyidi? So Sayyidina Abdul, how did you attain this closeness? He said, he smiled and answered, it was not with something that I did, but with something that I had. He said, I attained this not of something which I did, but it was because something I had. मुझे ये मिला इसलिए नहीं कि मैंने कुछ किया है, इसलिए कि मेरे पास कुछ चीज़ थी. What was that? I had an intimate relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal. And because of that, He favored me, and no one can stop His favor. फरमाया कि he had an intimate, very close relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the heart. उसने फरमाया कि मेरा दिल, मेरा अंदर, मेरा अल्लाह से बड़ा एक करीबी ताल्लुक़ था, बहुत क्लोज ताल्लुक़ था. उस वजह से अल्लाह पाक मुझ पर फजल की. इसलिए नहीं कि मैं नमाज़ें ज़्यादा पढ़ता था या रोज़े ज़्यादा रखता था, ज़िक्र ज़्यादा करता था. He shared this with me because he knew an intimate relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal is one of the most important things too. He asked me, how much do you want Allah? He asked me, how much do you want Allah? So I answered, I want Him more than everything and everyone in existence. If I don't have Him, then there's no point in living, and He is the greatest one to be desired. I cannot stop until I see Him, and when I see Him, I want to come more even closer to Him. Until I don't exist anymore, I am no more. Sayyidina Abdul Aziz Dabagh Rahmullah smiled and said, good answer, that is, you said something good. That, you see, this is the yearning, that firstly is leaving the dunya for malaika, for akhirah, then even for akhirah, a person, everything from existence he wants to pass, and he's not finding satisfaction. He doesn't want to look. Then he said he traveled to the blessed spirit, blessed mazar of Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jilani, but inside, say, I still had the eagerness to go to Allah. I just wanted to hear him, but I had to spend some time with Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jilani. And I asked, how did you, O Master, attain such a closeness of Allah? Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jilani said, I had a true want, and I did mujahada more than anyone else in the world at that time. He asked Sayyidina that the closeness to Allah, आपको जो अल्लाह पाक का कुर्ब इतना मिला, तो कैसे मिला? तो उन्होंने फरमाया कि पहले तो मेरे दिल में मैंने भाई तलब किया अल्लाह पाक को, मोहब्बत किया अल्लाह पाक से. औरतों से तो बहुत लगे मोहब्बत करते हैं, दुनिया पैसे से तो उन्हें मोहब्बत करके देखी है. मैंने अल्लाह से मोहब्बत की है, चाहा है, और फिर उसको पाने के लिए इतनी कोशिश की है कि दुनिया में किसी ने इतनी कोशिश नहीं की उस वक्त. And I did mujahada more than anyone else. Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani then explained the difference between various awliya. He explained difference amongst awliya, like that even awliya Allah, they have different colors. Something is more dominant. He said, on me, the dominant quality of Allah manifested is of dominance and strength. He said, भाई मुझ पर जिस अल्लाह पाक की सिफत की ज़्यादा तजल्ली थी, वो अल्लाह पाक की कुदरत, उनका नाम ही अब्दुल कादिर है. कुदरत, अल्लाह पाक का गलबा, that was manifest in him, the power of Allah. That's why he had majesty, he spoke with authority, and he had great dignity. And power of Allah was actually manifesting through him. And then Sayyidina Abdul Aziz Dabagh said Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jilani said, on your master, referring to Sayyidina Abdul Aziz Dabagh, he said, your master, Sayyidina Abdul Aziz Dabagh, rahimahullah, is of compassion and mercy, the quality which dominates him, which tajalli of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's quality of compassion and mercy. आप पर अल्लाह की रहमत और अल्लाह के फजल ये बहुत ज़्यादा था, यानी वाज़े. I asked about me, फिर कहते हैं मैंने अपने बारे में पूछा. He said, he informed me, it is of love, कि तुम पर जो है वो मोहब्बत अल्लाह पाक की और अल्लाह पाक की वो गालिब है, यानी वो सिफत. Love, that's why you love to help others and stand up for the weak and feed the poor. मैं तुम में मोहब्बत है इसलिए लोगों से, जिस तरह मैंने अगले दिन भी बताया था मंडे वाले दिन, के मखलूक से अल्लाह के लिए मोहब्बत वो अल्लाह ही से मोहब्बत है, उससे क्या उसकी खिदमत गोया अल्लाह पाक की ही इबादत है, अल्लाह की रज़ा के लिए जब बंदा करता है. When you're doing it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sake, serving the creation is serving Allah, and disservice to the creation is disservice to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I mentioned that I have been instructed to be more compassionate to people. Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jilani said, yes, we do not think you did anything wrong. Your compassion was on others as you do. All three mashayikh then stood in front of me and was waiting for me to take to go towards the blessed dome, blessed resting place of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Before I even finished asking how to do it, with one thought of Medina Sharif, we were there, and Mashayikh too, Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jilani, then told me to say salam to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and ask permission. And he said that voice answered saying, come in, you can come in any time. My door is always open for you in this world. Imagine how closeness these awliya Allah had with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam whilst they were living, and even in Barzakh, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that my door is always open for you. You can come whenever you like. I was still eager to visit. So he met his own Shaykh Abdul Aziz Dabbas, Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jilani, even Rasulullah, but he's still yearning to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I wanted to cry. I wanted to hear his name, his personality revealed through Quran and Sunnah. I wanted to meet him. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told me, because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's job is to take to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. लेकिन हम तो वहाँ तक कैसे पहुँचे? हम तो कोई ज़बान पे है, कोई औरतों के पीछे है, कोई आँखों के पीछे है, कोई कान के पीछे, कोई पेट और रिज़्क़ के पीछे. अभी तो मशाइख तक भी नहीं पहुँचे, फिर मशाइख आगे, बड़े मशाइख तक, फिर रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम, फिर वो भी अल्लाह तक लेके जाते हैं. तो ये कितने दिन, हम तो अभी निचली दुनिया में ही जंग कर रहे हैं, और मतलब उसी को मकसद बनाया हुआ है. और बहुत सारी मखलूक को तो वो भी इल्म नहीं करना क्या है, वो तो उधर भी नहीं है. दे जस्ट एक्चुअली लिविंग देयर लाइव्स. तो रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम told me to come inside. So I entered, and he said that to see inside my blessed body. आप अलैहि वसल्लम ने फरमाया कि तुम मेरे अंदर देखो, मेरे बातिन को देखो, मेरे कल्ब को देखो, और मुझ में फनाइयत हासिल करो, तब तुम्हें अल्लाह पाक का वो कुर्ब मिलेगा. I began to see images and flashes of so many different creation, the earth and the universe and the Jannat and the hell, but I stopped it. I didn't want to see them. जो ही मैंने ऐसे आप अलैहिस्सलाम के बातन की तरफ देखा, तो मुझ में पूरे फ्लैश आना शुरू हो गए, जैसे मखलूक के मुख्तलिफ जो है, गैब की मखलूक, दुनिया की मखलूक, जन्नतें, जहन्नमें. लेकिन वो छोड़ दिया मैंने, ये मैं नहीं चाहता, ये मैं देखना नहीं है. दिस इज नॉट माई वन. I focused on the thoughts of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who revealed the Quran. वो जिसने कुरान नाज़िल किया है, मैं उसके बारे में सोच रहा था. The speaker behind the words, वो जो कलाम करता है इन लफ्ज़ों के पीछे. He is with us even though so many behave as though he is so far from us. वो हमारे इतना करीब है, हालांकि हम में से बहुत ऐसा ही ज़िंदगी गुजार रहे हैं कि वो बहुत दूर है. I had no interest in creation. The Lord of all the world is more interesting in every possible way. He will definitely surpass my expectation of him and I cannot wait. वो कहते हैं मैं सब्र नहीं कर सकता उसको देखने से पहले तक, कि मेरे जो भी मैंने उसके बारे में सोचा हुआ है, उसकी सिफतें पड़ी हुई हैं, जब मैं देखूंगा तो वो इज गोइंग टू सरपास माई एक्सपेक्टेशन. जब वो हर चीज़ से बुलंद होगा, हर चीज़ से आला होगा, उसकी कोई मिसाल ही नहीं है. वो हर तरह दिलचस्प और इंटरेस्टिंग है. ही इज़ इंटरेस्टिंग इन एवरी वे. कोई कार इतनी इंटरेस्टिंग नहीं है, कोई घर, कोई बंदा, कोई औरत, कोई ज़मीन, कोई खाना, कोई चीज़, कोई इतनी दिलचस्प नहीं, कोई इतनी खूबसूरत नहीं, कोई इतनी कि वो यानी उसका मुकाबल किया जा सके. कैन बी कंपेयर. आई कैन नॉट वेट. Then we together as one began to rise above the heavens until it was as though there was no existence or surrounding. वो सारी मखलूक जिसको लाम मकां कहते हैं, मखलूक ख़त्म हो गई. I didn't know where I was except I heard a representative of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, voice representing Allah. तो वही किसी मुनादी ने ऐलान किया अल्लाह की तरफ से, come to me until there is nothing left of you. तुम आओ मेरे पास यहाँ तक कि तुम्हारा कुछ भी हिस्सा बाकी ना रहे. My urge had been fulfilled of hearing a reply. इस जवाब सुन के मुझे सुकून हो गया कि मैं पहुँचा कहीं, अल्लाह यानी आवाज़ सुनी, पैगाम सुना. But I can never be content and satisfied until I am forever with Allah without my own presence. लेकिन मैं कभी भी खुश नहीं होऊंगा जब तक कि मैं अल्लाह पाक को इस तरह ना मिलूं कि मैं अपने आप को भी भूल जाऊं, मैं भी कुछ बिल्कुल ख़त्म हो जाऊं और वो सिर्फ जो है मैं अल्लाह ही का मुशाहदा में गुम हो जाऊं. तो ये मैं मिसाल दे रहा हूँ आपको हौसला अफजाई के लिए कि यानी हम थोड़ा आगे चलें. जहाँ जहाँ बैठे हुए हैं वो मूसा अलैहिस्सलाम की कौम की तरह, उन्होंने कहा कि इन्ना हा हुना काइदुन, वो कहते थे या कौम इदखुल अर्ज़ल मुक़द्दसा, ये पाक ज़मीन फ़लस्तीन की ज़मीन में दाखिल हो जाओ. वो कहते इन्ना हा हुना का, हम तो यहाँ बैठेंगे, तो आप और आपका रब जाए वो करें, हम तो यहाँ बैठे हैं. तो आप भी कई लोग हैं वो अपने जगह में अपने नफ्स के पास शैतान के पास बैठे हुए हैं. वो कहते हैं भाई अल्लाह रसूल ही हमें ले जाए, हम तो यहाँ बैठे हैं. तो इस तरह ना बंदा करे, फिर वो ऐसे ही उनकी तरह दुनिया में फिरता रहेगा अल्लाह से दूर और मर जाएगा इसी हालत में. तो फिर नुकसान ही नुकसान है, फिर तो बताने वाला भी कोई नहीं रहेगा. सो ऐसे आगे की तरफ सफ़र अपना ट्राई टू सरपास. ठीक है, पाथ स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम अकीदा, लेकिन सारी ज़िंदगी अकीदे पर ही तो नहीं रहना. फ़िका भी इसकी शर्त है, फ़िका ही तो नहीं हासिल करते, वो मकसद तो नहीं है. तौबा भी बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है, लेकिन उस पर तो नहीं ओनली लाइफ यू स्पेंडिंग ऑन जस्ट तौबा एक्चुअली ऑफ द पास्ट. इस तरह मुजाहदा तो करना है, लेकिन फिर ऑर्गन्स भी इम्पोर्टेंट है टू प्यूरीफाई, वो लाइक वुदू बॉडी माइंड वो भी. लेकिन सारी ज़िंदगी उधर तो नहीं. माइंड जो है उसको तो वहाँ तो नहीं टाइम सर्व करना, वो तो आपका माइंड है. इट इज़ योर माइंड, वाई स्पेंड टाइम सो मच देयर. हार्ट आपका हार्ट है, वहाँ उससे भी गुजर जाओ, नफ्स से भी गुजर जाओ, और फिर रूह को लेके जो है अपना मकसद. अदरवाइज 20 30 20 ईयर्स 30 ईयर्स पास्ट 40 ईयर्स 50 साल 40 साल उम्र होगी, ख़त्म हो गई उम्र. तो अब कहाँ बंदा जब मर जाएगा तो क्या उसने किया है. तो अल्लाह जल्ल मजदहू, तो आप इसलिए ये है therefore actually try to be serious and go further wherever you are. Don't sit in comfortable place of ghafla and laziness. बैठे रहोगे तो बैठे रहोगे. तो अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह आपको तो पता है इस रास्ते का थोड़ा बहुत आगे चलने का, आगे भी चीज़ें हैं. तो इंशाल्लाह जो है. So this is then, as brother Siraj was saying, ये जो 3 levels of degrees, levels 3 degrees of faith, they are known as, what did you say first one? इल्मुल यकीन. अरबी में कहते हैं इल्मुल यकीन. इल्म का माना नॉलेज हो जाना. फिर आइन, आइन कहते हैं आँखों को, ऐसा यकीन आँखों देखा यकीन. और तीसरा एक्सपीरियंस यानी हक़ुल यकीन. इल्मुल यकीन, आइनुल यकीन और हाँ इसकी समझ वो मैं इसलिए पहले नहीं लफ्ज़ बोल रहा था कि लोग पहले लफ्ज़ बोल लेते हैं तो लोगों को कंफ्यूज है. कुछ नहीं, पहले आपको समझा दिया मैंने आसान लफ्ज़ों में वो है क्या. अब उसको टाइटल आप जो मर्ज़ी ये दे दें तो ये भी समझ आ जाएगी. तो ये कुरान मजीद में इसी लफ्ज़ में, जैसे सूरत तकासुर में है अल्हाकुमुत तकासुर हत्ता ज़ुरतुमुल मक़ाबिर, कि तुमने अल्हाकुमुत तकासुर के ज़्यादा चीज़ें बनाने की हवस ने तुम्हें गफलत में डाल रखा. अल्लाह पाक फरमाए तकासुर, भाई ये बोर हो जाए और हो जाए और हो जाए. अगर तो वो गफलत में नहीं डाल फिर तो ठीक है, बढ़ाओ चीज़ें. लेकिन अगर चीज़ों का बढ़ाना अल्लाह के कुर्ब को घटा रहा है फिर नुकसान है. फिर अल्लाह पाक फरमाए कल्ला सौफ तअलमून सुम्मा कल्ला सौफ तअलमून, हर दिन तुम्हें अनकरीब पता चल जाएगा. ये मौत का वक़्त है। सौफा थुम्मा, फिर क़यामत वाले दिन तुम्हें पता चलेगा कि तुम क्या ये कर रहे, कितनी बड़ी गलती तुमने की है। कल्ला सौफा कल्ला सौफा तालमून सुम्मा कल्ला सौफा कल्ला लौ तालमून इल्मल यकीन, काश ये नहीं तुम्हें पता चल जाए इस इल्मुल यकीन, तुम्हें इतना यकीन आ जाए। वो भी हमारा वीक है, वो जो इल्मुल यकीन है, सुना हुआ ईमान है, वो भी कमज़ोर है, वो भी उस दर्जे का नहीं। सुम्मा लतरवुन्नहा ऐनल यकीन, फिर ऐनुल यकीन का तज़किरा है कि फिर जहन्नम का अल्लाह पाक तज़किरा फरमा रहा है कि उस वक़्त तो फिर तुम्हें आंखों से ये नज़र आएगी, फिर तुम्हें यकीन आए, लेकिन उस फ़ायदा नहीं है उस वक़्त। सुम्मा कल्ला कल्ला तअलमून इल्मल लतरवुन्नल जहीम, तुम फिर देखोगे जहन्नम को। सुम्मा लतरवुन्नहा ऐन, फिर तुम्हें यहाँ वो ऐनुल यकीन हासिल करो इस दुनिया में तो तुम्हें फ़ायदा हो। क़यामत वाले दिन तो सब देखेंगे, उनके लिए तो ऐसे है जैसे दुनिया। सुम्मा लतरवुन्नहा ऐन सुम्मा लतुसअलुन्ना, वहाँ तो फिर सवाल होगा, वहाँ अब एक्सपीरियंस करने का फ़ायदा नहीं है। यू आर देयर टू एक्सपीरियंस एंड एन्जॉय और टू रेज योर ईमान। सुम्मा लतुसअलुन्ना, तुम फिर पूछे, सवाल होगा यौमाज़िन, ये जो नेमतें अल्लाह ने तुम्हें ज़िंदगी दी, ईमान दिया, कितनी और चीज़ें दी, ये सब के बारे में सवाल जवाब शुरू होगा वहाँ। फिर ये तो नहीं है मज़े करना, ये बात नहीं होगी जो जिन्होंने गफलत में वक्त गुजारा। ठीक है, जज़ाकल्लाह। कोई पूछ लें अगर किसी बात की समझ नहीं आई तो, वरना फिर अस्तग़फिरुल्लाह। जज़ाकल्लाह। फिर ठीक है, सुब्हानकल्लाहुम्मा बिहम्दिका नशहदु अन ला इलाहा इल्ला अंता नस्तगफिरुका व नतूबु इलैक। माशा अल्लाह।